Hi everyone. So this is the video about the funny story, something that happened to me this past week that I wanted to share with you, and hopefully you will find humor in it as well. Well, Tuesday morning was a rough day for me. I was feeling physically rough, and as a result, I was feeling mentally rough. And so I got myself dressed to drive my son to work, and I did something that I almost never do, and that is I went out without hair and makeup. So I washed my hair, I dried my hair. It was just kind of flat, a little frizzy. So anyway, I dropped my son off at work, and my original plans were to drive to the Adoration Chapel and spend some time with Jesus. I should have stuck with those plans. Anyway, when driving back home, I saw a hair salon that looked very lovely on the outside. It was one of my favorite colors, that bluish green that you see in the bedspread back there. And I decided, I very, very rarely go to a hair salon or a barber. I usually cut and color my own hair. But I thought that I would treat myself. That might be nice. Maybe they could, help me look fresh and a little younger and less tired. So I walked into this salon, and there was a gentleman behind the counter, and I asked, "Do you all take walk-ins?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am, we do. Would you, what do you need today?" And I said, "Well, I just want a trim and maybe some long layers." And he says, "Oh yeah, sure, we can do that for you. Have a seat." And I did. And then I heard him say that he had an errand to run, and he asked this woman, I'm not going to say her name, if she would like to take me, if she would like to do my hair. And he was calling to someone in the back. I could not see who he was talking to, but anyway. So he asked her if she would take me, and she said, "Sure." So I'm sitting in the chair, and I can see, in the mirror what is behind me. Out steps this woman who had bleached hair, but whose bleached hair had been dyed all of the colors of the rainbow, like at one time. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, the whole rainbow in her hair. As well as face piercings, multiple tattoos on various places on her body, shorty shorts, and what appeared to be a corset. Now, I try to never judge a book by its cover. And let's be honest, if I ran into this person in, I don't know, at the checkout at a grocery store or whatever, I would be polite. I'd say hello, or, have a good day, something like that. But unless I was sitting in a chair captive, this woman and myself probably would not speak or cross paths very much, Anyway, of course, when I saw her, I thought, oh my goodness, I just wanted a trim. I don't want anything drastic. I was fearful when I saw her, and I thought, oh, this was a big mistake. So I wanted to run for my life, but I didn't want her to feel disrespected or that I didn't like her. I mean, she's a child of God, however, right? She's a child of God, even though our styles are drastically different. Hairstyles and probably lifestyles. Anyway, I sat in the chair for about an hour, and it took an hour and 15 minutes to do a dry cut. You know, my hair had already been washed, already been dried. So she just squirted it down with the squirt bottle and cut and talked and cut and blow dried and blow dried and blow dried. And I have to say that, you know, my intuitions about these things are usually correct. Every time I go to a hair salon and spend, you know, for me, getting your hair done, you know, $50 is big bucks. I know people pay a lot more than that for color and all that kind of stuff. But I don't do it because I always have to. I'm never happy. I feel bad for the stylist. Of course, I never let on how unhappy I am, but I've always got to go home and redo it myself. So as we're finishing up, she gave me a mirror and turned the chair so that I could see the back of my head. And when she turned my chair, I could see that she had a little stand with some decorative pieces on it. And underneath the stand was a pot that said Witch's Garden. And it had kind of a plant in it that looked like it was on its way out. And I thought, oh my gosh, did I just have my hair cut by a witch? So we finished up. I paid. And in order to use my debit card, they told me they had to put me in the system. So they needed my name and phone number. So I gave them my name, and then when it came to phone number, I gave them an old phone number that I don't use anymore because I do not wish to be contacted, if you know what I mean. So I went home and had to re-wet my hair. I had to cut this side a little bit because it was about half an inch longer than the other. I mean, maybe that was the off-kilter look she was going for, but you know me, I'm just pretty traditional, pretty plain Jane. And so I evened it out, and then this morning I did my color. Now, she did give me a good tip. I learned something from this unusual encounter. And that is about doing your own color at home. I asked her, you know, how do I keep my ends from getting frizzy in doing my hair color at home? Because now I have to color it about every, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks. And she, of course, when I looked in the box, it's on the directions. If I had only read and adhered to the directions, you know, just like we tell kids. Well, she told me to put the hair color on my roots and let that sit for like 20 minutes. And then when I'm getting ready to wash that out, put the hair color on the ends, the rest of it, let it sit for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then rinse it out. And anyway, I think it worked pretty well. So I did get something good from that experience, and some good advice on doing your roots. But of course, when I came home, my mom called later, and I said, boy, oh boy, have I got a story for you. Guess who trimmed my hair today? The night before, you know, I had told you I had been doing a lot of clenching my teeth at night in my sleep, and I had a dream that I was back at an old school where I used to work, and that I was emceeing a Christmas program for them, because in my former job I did do a lot of emceeing, so to speak. And I'm getting ready to go on the stage to introduce people and get the program started. And as I'm talking to a student who had asked me if I could locate a cup for them, I feel one of my teeth wiggle, and as I move my tongue around my mouth, my teeth just start to crumble and fall into, on my tongue. So I spit out the teeth, and of course, I'm horrified. And then I'm talking to someone else, former colleague, and I feel a loose tooth again. And then I run my tongue through my mouth, and I've got another handful. And my parents were there. I don't know why, but I went to them with these two hands full of teeth, and I'm just mortified because I'm fixing to get up in front of everyone, and all eyes would be on me, and I've got, two handfuls of teeth, and I'm thinking, can you see it in the front? Is it just the back? Whatever. But in my dream, I showed my mom the teeth, and she says, "Oh, honey, it's okay. Now that you've lost so many, you can get yourself a full set of dentures, and your smile will be good as new. It happens. You're just getting old." I was not thinking pleasant thoughts at that moment. So I have had a lot of dental work done lately, as one of my molars after another molar after another molar have broken or crumbled. So over the last few years, I've had a couple crowns, a root canal, and I've had a couple of molars that just have had to have been patched. And I give you, with regard to that, if you're still with me, some words of advice. Several years ago, I went to a modern dentist, beautiful office with all the latest equipment and stuff. And this dentist told me that she believed some of my old fillings were getting old and wouldn't necessarily protect my teeth anymore. So she wanted to take the old fillings out and replace them with the beautiful white, I don't know what you call it, porcelain looking fillings. And so not only would it be more protective for my teeth, supposedly, but it'd be prettier for my smile. So I agreed to let her do that. Big mistake. When the old fillings were taken out and there was cleanup around the area, and then the tooth was drilled some more so that the new filling would, stick to it. She drilled way too much, and basically I wound up having fillings that were little pinpoint fillings. Now I have fillings the size of Texas in some of my molars, and so I think between that and the teeth grinding, that's why I've been making so many trips to the dentist. So basically, I don't know. In my experience, I probably should have just left those old fillings alone until they completely deteriorated and then done something about them. So now I'm just left with crumbling teeth, and when they're not crumbling in real life, then I'm dreaming about them. So I hope you enjoyed that story. And I hope that you have a wonderful, blessed day. And know that I am praying for you, my viewers. And I ask you to please continue to pray for me. Have a good day.